The nature of relationships is changing, you guys, and it has a lot to do with women out earning men. Okay? They used to say that men made more money than women, and they did because men were choosing higher earning professions, engineering, law, medicine, rather than teaching and nursing, daycare, for example. And also because women would stop working when they had children. Then, when they re entered the workforce, they made less money. However, this trend started changing at least 10 or 15 years ago. Now, the majority of college graduates are women, and for this cohort of women, they are earning more than men. So, you can look this up. I'm not, oh, I guess I could put some charts in here, but I generally don't. um, so, you have like women on Wall Street or women who are doctors earning more than men that they're dating. And it is true, it is true that women generally want to marry up. Not because we're money hungry, I think that is in our nature. I do agree a lot with what the red pill guys are saying, that we generally want a man who can provide for us. That's really nice. However, the number of men who can provide is rapidly shrinking because for each woman, I'm going to include myself in this, there are fewer men that we would want to date because we want to date someone of equal or higher education level and income level and social level. So that's one trend. So we're not seeing or considering all those other guys. We all want the top 10 or 20% of men. That's one thing that's happening. That's one thing that's happening. It's also, there's an interesting study in that, oh, well, let me go on to this. So Morgan Stanley came out with a report a few years ago predicting that by 2030, 45% of women between the ages of 25 to 45 would be single. More and more women are choosing to be single. More and more women are delaying marriage. Now, here's another factor that comes in. This is from the red pill community. The red pill being the guys that woke up to the reality of female nature, like hypergamy, and that is that women in their 20s generally want to be like, hey, how much can I earn? I want to pursue my career. I want to pursue my profession. So they're not getting married. And by the time they decide they want to get married in their late 20s, the guys are in their early 30s, if they can find any. And those guys have their pick of women. The eligible men have their pick of women because there are not that many eligible men. And that's the problem. And then those men generally want to go younger. Suzanne Venker talks about this. She is a conservative feminist, I would say. I have her book, The Alpha Female's Guide to Marriage. And she talks about how women need to think about this early on. If you want to be a mother, think about this and get married at a younger age. Don't just pursue your career, start dating in your 30s, because then it's pretty late to find a husband and have children, if that's what you want. Because it's kind of hard to do both. I know there are women who like to do both, but it's kind of hard to do both. I think the reason that relationship formation is down isn't just because men don't want a relationship. I think it's because possibly we women are excluding a lot of men, or a lot of men have given up that, because I watched a bunch of videos yesterday around guys who talk about this kind of stuff, and I think that that's really what happened. They've given up, and we're not even considering them. So that's the other idea. It's called alpha seed, beta need. Like, women will go for the alphas, what they consider the alpha, like the guy who's got good frame. He doesn't let himself be swayed emotionally by women, like the guy that we all want. And the guy that's like really good looking, good with women. Um, he's on his purpose. And like, especially let's look at online dating. I guess on Tinder, 80% of the people on Tinder are men, and they're swiping on 60% of the women, whereas the women are just swiping on 4% of the men. And so those guys are getting all the women, alpha seed, and then women get to be, around childbearing age and they want to have children. And then they're like, I'm not going to go for that kind of guy anymore. I'm going to settle down. And then apparently the guys in the red pill community think that we're going to settle for the betas. Since we can't get the alpha, we'll settle for the beta guy. The beta guy being like the guy we'll put up with, that's going to provide for us and our children, since we can't get the alpha guy that we really want. I think it's something like that. I'm not sure, but alpha seed beta need, and but that she's always going to compare herself to that alpha guy that she rather have. But here's the thing that women have to know too, is that I fucked some alphas that I probably could never date. Like we can fuck guys that would never date us, because the guys who go around getting all the girls will fuck anything they can get, even going below what they would date. So, for example, I had some guys I consider trophy fucks, and they weren't guys with money. Like, for example, for me, trophy fuck was a drill instructor. And that guy was never going to date me for various reasons, age difference being one, many reasons. But I had some guys, in their 40s I hooked up with when I was, after my divorce. I was 10 years older, and they were actually really good dads. They were guys I would have dated for a relationship. But, and I would tell myself, since I could get these guys to fuck me, I'm sure I could get this caliber of man to date me. But that's where I went wrong, because not necessarily. And I didn't. They didn't date me. I think the one is still single, and the other one, I saw him on Facebook a few years back with this cute little yoga instructor. And that goes to another point. Men do like intelligent women. However, they don't necessarily want a bossy bitch. A lot of men like someone who's a little bit soft or a little submissive, and men don't really care that much about our income or education. They kind of want to be more like the alpha dog guy. So if a man had a choice between dating a woman who's a doctor or a woman who is a yoga instructor, I think he's going to go for the yoga instructor. And a lot of guys will date the waitress over the CEO lady. That's why you see a lot of these celebrities who can get anyone. Get the waitress because she's sweet and she's submissive and she's happy. She's choosing that profession. It's service oriented. She's sweet and she's accommodating and she's probably really nice. And that's appealing to a man. And all these women working these long hours are super stressed. It's not fun being around a woman who's stressed, nor a man who's stressed, believe me. But women aren't doing themselves any favors by being so stressed and burned out. In fact, there was a study from 2013 that found that when women out-earn men, when women out-earn their husbands, the husband is more likely to need Viagra. The woman is typically more anxious and stressed out. And maybe, the man feels emasculated. They don't really know. This was done in a study in Denmark. And Denmark doesn't have a long tradition of the male provider like we do. Another idea I'm going to throw out there that I heard yesterday was pair bonding. We think that we are a pair bonding species. That's the myth that we're sold, monogamy and pair bonding. Pair bonding, monogamy is fairly new in our human evolutionary history, because for hundreds of thousands or millions of years we lived in tribes, in communities. Now, to what extent people kind of split off, I don't know. There was a lot of people having sex with other people in their little community, people raising the children as a group. So it wasn't like two people having to raise a child. That's very stressful anyway. Pair bonding, and then when pair bonding started during the agricultural age, it was done as a way, women were property. People were thinking about making a life, just getting through. I work in the fields, you work in the house. It wasn't really till 100 or 200 years ago that people started wanting to marry for love, that they wanted good sex and companionship and friendship. So this whole pair bonding thing is kind of a new experiment in our human history, right? And some people do very well at it, especially if they meet the right partner, if they have good internal regulatory mechanisms, if they don't need a lot of novelty. And some people are not that well suited for it, especially when women don't need men financially. See, I think pair bonding worked really well when women really needed men financially. And for example, in my own case, I I feel like I did pair bond with my husband pretty well. However, even though I never cheated on him, I did all the stuff that they talk about in the red pill. Like I compared him to other men. I kept thinking, you know, could I have done better? And I was sexually dissatisfied, so I would always I would every on a regular basis, I would look at other men and think, I wonder if he would satisfy me in bed. I wonder, not me. I was really thinking, I wonder if his wife is satisfied with him sexually because I'm not satisfied sexually. I wonder if I bet he satisfies her. I bet he cares about her pleasure. That's what it was. My ex-husband didn't care about my sexual pleasure. And I am this guy. And then I would, especially like neighbors, guys I would see all the time. And then I didn't like that he wasn't like going after it at work. And I'd be like, wonder if I'd married this guy who went after it at work. So I think this comparison thing is natural. I'm sure my ex-husband might have thought, what if I'd married this gal who was nicer to me or was willing to work or this or that, I don't think there's any harm in that actually. But I don't know if we're really meant to be married for that long to one person. I will tell you that someone asked me the other day what else I would like about a relationship other than the sex, and I made a long list of things, but honestly, the only part that I'm really aware of missing is sex. Not because I need the sex per se, but it's that type of sex that I would get in a relationship that's so transcendent and yummy and passionate and affectionate. It's an experience that I don't know how to obtain on my own. It's an experience I really enjoy. I suppose it's like someone who likes um, skiing, and you need snow and you need skis and you need a mountain. I feel like that way about really good sex. And I've experienced really good sex or the desire of it, but it may never come to be again. I don't get attached to my clients because I'm in a giving mode. I was thinking about why I got so attached to some of the guys I hooked up with. Those same guys, if they were clients, I would not have gotten attached to, because when they're clients, I'm in a giving mode. But when I was hooking up with those guys, I'm in a receiving mode. I'm receiving. I'm very opening my heart more. And so it feels more personal because I'm letting myself receive. Yeah. But that's important to be in that mode of receiving, but it just feels too vulnerable to just do it with just anyone. So that's why it's a lot easier to give. Receiving requires opening and vulnerability. And so, in my appointments, I do limit the amount of receiving I let myself receive, and I don't allow myself to emotionally receive. Even if they're doing something to me physically, I don't bring all my receptive emotions into it, and that's a good idea. Yeah, so let me know what you think. I'm going to put some of the links to the videos I watch in the description in case any of you guys want to watch this. I just think it's a really interesting topic about the changing nature of relationships, and I think that is why more and more men are turning to sites like Just for Fans, OnlyFans, and porn. This is what I want to say that men really need to do to be attractive to women. If I look at a guy who's an incel or a guy who's porn addicted, this is the other thing. If you're addicted to porn, you're not going to want to pursue a woman because your sexual needs are satisfied. I know they talk about dopamine and this and that, but if your sexual outlet is on your phone, then you don't need to go after a woman. That's like me. I can watch YouTube videos all day long, and then I don't need to go out to meet people. So if I just put my phone away and let myself feel my need to want to be with people, then I will go out and meet people. So if you're addicted to porn, just turn your phone off and be like, what is it that I'm really wanting? I want a woman. Okay, go out and talk to a woman when you have that need. Turn that need into going on talk to a woman. Just do it. You can still go home and watch the porn. Just add that little step in there. Let me know if that works, you guys. But these are the qualities that make a man really attractive, where I think that these guys that are like doormats have given up. Is one, to have a sense of purpose and be on a mission. Purpose, discipline, mission. Along with that goes that 75% of Americans are overweight or obese. That's not attractive in a man. Curves in a man are not attractive. A little bit of a belly is fine, but you want to have like a nice chiseled face and broad shoulders and strong abs and legs. So under purpose, discipline, and commitment, those qualities are very attractive. That's what we read. That's what an alpha man has, and that's what we see. And the kind of behavior you would have would be, you get up in the morning early, you get up, you exercise, you eat good food, and you have a purpose in your life. You're pursuing a career. You're in pursuit of a career. You're in pursuit of bettering yourself. You're excited about your work. You do these things because you care about yourself and because you have a good outlook, because you're happy with your life. That's attractive, guys. I'm telling you. And you also you have a sense of style, the way you dress, because you care about your body and you care about your life, and you do it for you. Whatever kind of exercise you want, whether it's playing tennis or going running or lifting weights or racquetball, playing basketball. My ex-husband, even in his 50s, was like playing pickup basketball and pickup soccer. And I found him so attractive, I found him so attractive because he did all these manly things. He would get up early and he would always wear a shirt and tie and go to work, and he was reliable. You want to be reliable, consistent, you want to keep your word, you want to have a purpose in regards to your fitness, your diet, how you dress, and your career. I don't think that's that hard to do, but I guess for some guys it is. But maybe you didn't know that's what you have to do. Then what else? What else do guys need? So that's one thing. That's one quality that's super, super attractive. Let me think. The other quality has to do with your emotional awareness and presence, that you're a kind person, that you're generous, that you like women. We can tell if you don't like us or you do. You're not afraid of women. You don't hate women. You like women. We can feel that. We can feel that you like women. And liking women doesn't make you susceptible to having your heart broken, because that's, I'm going to get into boundaries in the third step. But you like women. You're just a congenial person. At the very least, you like women. Number 3 has to do with boundaries and having a sense of self. They call it in the red pill community holding frame. The same would apply for a woman, having boundaries. I want to know that I can lean on you. I can't lean on you if you're like a little floppy little tree looking to me for approval. Now I'm turned off and I'm angry. And that's where I'm going to suggest you read Robert Glover's book, No More Mr. Nice Guy. It doesn't mean not to be nice. It means don't be a doormat, approval seeker. Oh, I will, not be myself just so I can get you to like me. Will you like me, please? That's what the incels do. That's why women don't want them. Okay, so that requires you just doing some inner work and changing your mindset to be like focused on what you want and what you like, and never let a woman push you around. Never let a woman push you around. Because once she disrespects you, it's over. You've got to have boundaries. If you notice something, say no. And that's why even my ex-husband, even though I was very heartbroken, when he was a no to stuff, he told me no. And I respect him for that, even though it broke my heart. At least I still respect him. You have to be able to say no. You have to be willing to let the woman walk away. Do not be a doormat. And I will say the incel guys suffer from being depressed and having given up. Okay, I will tell you this. If you do the items number 1 and number 2 and number 3, women will flock to you. Women will automatically be attracted to you. So you don't even have to really do anything. I bet they will start noticing you. And then if you don't care whether they like you or not, that particular woman, you can just start talking to them. That's another thing I always tell men, is just start talking to women. It doesn't matter what you say. But I think if men would just level up their game, more men would come into the pool of men that women would want. But I also think we have a problem in our society with women out earning men, and that's really not attractive to most women. I'm going to be honest. On the other hand, when I was a housewife and I was financially dependent on my ex-husband for decades, I will tell you, I felt very secure, I felt very loved, and I felt very provided for. And that would be another reason I would never want to cheat on him too, because I felt like part of a family, like he provided for me. I appreciated that so much. At the same time, I started wondering, who am I without him? Like, am I just some helpless, woman? So there's no perfect answer to any of it, right? Like, you work a lot and you're tired, you don't work and you're helpless, I just think a proper blend is a woman working part-time. Then if the relationship ends, she can still keep working, because someone's got to pay attention to the house. That's the other thing we're neglecting. Women are working now because they have to and they want to. Who's paying attention to the home and the nourishing energy of the home? You get home at 6 and you're both supposed to still have energy to cook and to be attentive to each other. I don't think so. Anyway, I'm going to put in the description of this video, I'm going to put links to some of these videos I talked about if you want to check those out. Otherwise, thanks for watching my video and hope you guys have a great Saturday.